Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Know About Embedded Systems. So in this video we're going to understand a very important topic related to CAN, that is called as a bit timing configuration in a CAN protocol. So this is a very important, especially if you're working in an automotive domain. Everyone should know how the bits or bit timing is configured in the CAN protocol. So before starting the video, so if you're a new viewer to my channel, kindly subscribe my YouTube channel, like this video and share this video to your friends and colleagues to gain the knowledge on embedded systems and automotive system. So let us start the video. Bit timing design or a bit timing configuration in a CAN protocol. So before understanding bit timing calculation in a CAN, we have to understand two important things. What do you mean by synchronization and how it works? First one is called as hard synchronization and the second one is called soft synchronization. It's also called as resynchronization. First, let us understand what do you mean by hard synchronization. The hard synchronization refers to every ECU or every node should align or should synchronize in the start of bit. So whenever you're transmitting any data, we're going to start one particular bit called as a start of frame. Every message or every frame will have this bit called as start of frame. Every ECU should restart or every ECU should get synchronized in the start of bit. That is what called as a hard synchronization. All the nodes should restart their internal bit timer upon detecting the first recessive to dominant bit. Means in the start of frame every ECU should be synchronized. This is called as hard synchronization. And apart from that, we have something called as soft synchronization. This soft synchronization is also called as a resynchronization. If there is any, let us assume the synchronization is not, all the ECUs are not synchronized within the start of frame. So then we are going to use something called as resynchronization. So resynchronization is also called as soft synchronization. With the help of this soft synchronization, we are going to correct minor timing errors or minor timing discrepancies by lengthening or by shortening bit duration in order to achieve a proper synchronization within the network. So main agenda for bit timing is two. One is hard synchronization and second one is soft synchronization. Okay, I hope you are clear with these two things, hard synchronization and soft synchronization. Now, so one more reason, so one thing is to achieve hard and soft synchronization, and one more important thing here is, so our CAN, when we say CAN, it is a ISO certified CAN protocol. It is in under this ISO certification, they have given a different provisions or different parameters that we can configure. So those parameters like bit rate, bit timing, currently what you are seeing on the screen, bit timing, bit rate, sample rate, and number of samples per number of samples to be optimized. Everything can be customized. So according to your requirement and according to project requirement, we can adjust this bit rate, bit timing, sample point, and so on. We can adjust according to your project requirement, and also you can adjust to achieve the synchronization. Okay, so the bit timing can be adjusted to meet the requirements of the communication system and physical communication channel. So try to understand this statement here. So that means if you want to achieve a little more speed, little more synchronization, it is possible with the help of these parameters. Okay, for that purpose we're going to use a bit timing and configuration. Now, before diving into the actual topic, I just wanted to tell one more important thing. So if you consider our frames, let us assume the green color, whatever you are seeing, these are all my frame bits. This is my frame, and out of that I have considered a single bit. So this is my single bit which I am highlighting here. So each single bit is divided into multiple segments. That's what here you can see. So this single bit is divided into multiple segments in order to provide a proper synchronization, and also in order to provide a proper synchronization. Also, it is used to achieve the your customer requirement or project requirement. So single bit will have 4 different parameters. One is called sync segment, propagation segment, phase segment buffer 1, and phase segment buffer 2, and sample point. So there are totally 5 parameters we have to configure in the bit and timing configuration. Next slide, I want to highlight one more important thing here, something called as time quanta. In our CAN bit timing configuration, we are going to use a bit time quanta. So what is this time quanta? So see the definition here. Time quanta in a short form we will call as TQ. This time quanta is the smallest time unit for a configuring CAN bit timing. This is a minimum time which we're going to use to configure the CAN bit timing. So TQ stands for time quanta. This is the smallest time unit for configuring CAN bit timing, acting as a building block for clocks or building block for transmitting and receiving the data. Okay, this is the first definition, and this time quanta can be defined with the help of simple equation. Time quanta is equal to BRP divided by peripheral clock. TQ stands for time quanta. BRP is a bit rate prescaler. It's a divider, clock divider it is, and a P clock stands for peripheral clock. So BRP, Baud Rate Prescaler, or you can say clock divider, and we have peripheral clock. This is also called as P clock. Understand one by one segments here. The first segment is called as sync segment, the thing which you are seeing, which I'm going to highlight here. So now we're going to understand something called a sync segment. What do you mean by this sync segment? I have already explained in the previous slide. We are going to, or all the issues are going to be synchronized in a start of frame bit, right? If the bits are not aligned, or if the ECUs are not aligned or not synchronized, then we have to adjust the bit timing. That is what now we are going to discuss. The first one is called a synchronization segment, or it's also called as sync segment. This segment is used to synchronize all the nodes in the CAN network. So that is what I told you. So within this sync segment, all the ECUs need to be synchronized. If a single edge is expected within, that means the signal edge, that's what I told, like every start of frame should be aligned here. If there is any deviation, if there is any deviation in that alignment, then that's called as a premature or a delayed signal edge. Then we have to adjust the timing. Then it will be measured and adjusted in a phase buffer lengths by adjusting the phase segment 1, phase segment 2. So what is the meaning, ultimate conclusion here? The sync segment is called as synchronization segment, and every signal should align here. If there is any unalignment, then we have to adjust this one, the phase segment buffer 1 and phase segment buffer 2. So we have to adjust the delay or a premature signal edge detection should be adjusted here in the phase segment buffer 1 and buffer 2. And this synchronization segment, sync segment will take one time quanta value. The second one in the timing configuration is called as a propagation segment. This block, currently which I'm highlighting. So what this propagation segment says, the propagation segment says like this. This segment, the propagation segment, is used to compensate the physical delay which are occurring during a transmission and reception. Correct, right? Like when you are transmitting a data, the data will take a small microsecond it will take to reach the destination. So delay which are occurring during the transmission, we're going to use this propagation segment to adjust the delay which are occurring in the transmission and reception of a signal. Okay, so very straightforward definition, propagation time segment, which is used to compensate physical delay which are occurring during the transmission. And this propagation segment will take minimum one time quanta and maximum one time quanta, and maximum 8 time quantas in compensating physical delay. I hope you are clear with this. Now the third one, phase segment buffer 1. That means this orange color, the orange color segment, whatever you are seeing, this we are going to discuss now. What is the use of this phase segment buffer 1? The phase segment buffer 1, so these segments are used to compensate for the signal edge fair errors. Okay, so I have already told, if there is any misalignment during the synchronization segment that can be adjusted in a phase segment buffer 1 and phase segment buffer 2. So these, especially phase segment buffer 1, are used to compensate the signal edge phase errors. Usually this can be achieved by lengthening. You can see here it is used to compensate the edge by lengthening during the resynchronization. So you can increase the bit length here in the phase segment buffer 1 in order to achieve synchronization. And this will take minimum 1 time quanta and maximum up to 8 time quantas it will take in order to provide a proper synchronization. Next, we have last one, phase segment buffer 2, the last one, whatever you're seeing here. But what do you mean by phase segment buffer 2? This phase segment buffer 2 is also used to correct the phase errors which are occurring in the sync segment. This is used for shortening the bit duration. The phase segment buffer 1 is used for lengthening the bit duration. Phase segment buffer 2 is used for shortening the bit duration. And this will take minimum 2 and maximum up to 8 time quantas. So these are all the 4 segments we are going to use in our CAN in order to configure bit timing: sync segment, propagation segment, and phase segment buffer 1 and phase segment buffer 2. The last one is called a sample point. The sample point means, you can see here, so the arrow what I'm showing here, this is called as a sample point. This sample point is going to define timing at which where we're going to measure or where we're going to detect whether the bit is a dominant bit or bit is a recessive bit. Okay, or in a simpler way, it's called as a receiver. At this point we're going to detect or we're going to receive the particular bit, whether it's a recessive bit or a dominant bit. Okay, the sample point is defined as the point in time within the bit where the bus or a controller is going to sample whether it's a dominant or recessive. So within this you need to detect. So it is typically expressed in terms of percentage. So we're going to express the sample point in a percentage, and we have simple equation for this. You can see here. The sample point can be defined as this equation. So sample point is equal to sync segment, propagation segment plus phase segment buffer 1 plus phase segment buffer 2 divided by total bit time size. Okay, so sync segment, propagation segment 1, propagation segment 2, we're going to define. I hope you are clear with this point. So like ultimately, what is the bit timing configuration? I'll show you here. See, this is my single bit. So for this single bit we have 4 parameters. So sync, propagation segment, phase segment buffer 1 and phase segment buffer 2. Using these 4 parameters we are going to achieve resynchronization. It is also called as soft synchronization, in order to keep all nodes in a properly synchronized manner. If there is any deviation here, so then we will use this propagation segment, phase segment buffer 1, phase segment buffer 1, phase segment buffer 2 in order to correct the synchronization errors. So I hope this video is an informative video. So if you feel this video is an informative video, please click on like button, subscribe my YouTube channel and share these videos to your friends and colleagues.